This is Christy Hales, and I am taping one of our friends here for the Bittersweet Project. And JacQuil Leathers is my friend, and she has been so kind to let us go ahead and tape her testimony. So I would love to ask you some questions, JacQuil. Tell me about your walk with the Lord, because have you always had Christ in your life, or is this something that you kind of found later on? Was this something you grew up with?
I would say he's always been in my life, but as far as a relationship, probably within the last 13 to 15 years, I would say is where it really changed, and it grew to where my bond with God and my communication and how I know for him to respond to me and my prayers and so forth.
That's so very cool. So, JacQuil, let me just ask you, tell me where you're from originally.
From Raleigh, but raised in Charlotte.
Okay. And did you have, tell me about your family.
I am the oldest of 4 on my mother's side. I have a special needs sister and 2 younger brothers, of whom I love so much. And on my father's side, I'm the youngest of 3 girls. And so I have 2 older sisters who give me headaches, but I love them so much too.
That's great. That's great. And I know that you're a hairstylist, and that was one of the great reasons that I had an opportunity to meet you, and just know that you had pretty much an incredible story. Basically, what I like to do with these interviews is just talk about, the simpleness of it. I want to say, when you met the Lord, what it was like, what happened, and what it was like now. So what happened that made it so that you realized that you needed to call out to the Lord, and then what happened during that instant, and then how it's changed in your life today?
I would say what really introduced or opened up for a relationship with the Lord. Not that I ever thought that God was a magician, but I would always hear prophets give words to people, and I'm like, does this stuff really happen? So I found a church back in maybe 2012. One of my old classmates invited me to. And I went there and I received the word that night, and the prophet was like, such and such is going to happen, blah blah blah.
And how old were you at that time?
I was 26, 25, 26. And what was spoken came to pass. And from there I was like, okay, so God is real, because things that were spoken through that prophet, I didn't tell her that was something that was private, So I was like, okay, God, I know you're out there. And so I just stuck around and just learned, the right way to pray, how to pray, what scriptures to use when fighting certain battles in prayer. How, when there's goals or anything in life that you have, not to write them down, but to also follow the vision and to have faith in it.
Awesome. So basically you're saying, you've always had the Lord in your life in one way or another, but that when you got to be mid-age, you really realized that you needed to call out to him to find out how he was working in your life.
Correct. Correct. I needed him to put the pieces together and make it make sense for me.
Well, and I love that. I love that you said that you know who God was, but that you all of a sudden realized that you needed to understand what it was like to have a relationship with him. So tell me how besides just that you heard a prophet, that what did God do in your life to really make you realize that he wanted a relationship with you? Do you have anything like that? If you don't, that's fine.
Most definitely. There's been things in my childhood that I know that the Lord was there. And it would be things that, I had a sort of rough upbringing. But at times, when I would run away to a church. And it could be a church that I visited or that I've never been to before, but this would be in the middle of the night, early mornings, and all I would do was just go sit on the steps. So I've always known that God was there, but I felt like I didn't know how to tap in. How can I get his attention? What do I say? I didn't know, where's the response team? That's what I needed. Right. And I think through that whole experience, even just with the prophet speaking that, I just sort of knew from then, that was just a green light. So now this is the road to take. So just stick with me.
Wow, I love that. That's really good. So that's basically what happened to you, and that's how you kind of saw God kind of come into your life. So I want to ask you a few questions, because I've been in the same industry as you for many years, but I saw that you took a different route, and that's very exciting to me. Tell me how you found the route in the industry, since it's the hair industry, to go down. What happened to you that you decided that this was the way, or was this just what you always felt like you were supposed to do?
My little sister happened to me. I think that me and my brothers love her so much that we have definitely found our purpose in her. I think as growing up, we would always be trying to figure out, like, we in the house, we got a, sister with special needs, so we can't go and have so much fun and so forth, so forth. But as we got older and understood who we were, she definitely helped us create our purpose. And I just knew that this population was overlooked. I knew that there wasn't a lot of resources given to them. And I'm like, well, if I feel good about myself and my hair is done, my nails are done, I'm dressed appropriately, I smell good, it's just the whole package. And I just wanted to make sure that this population was given that whole package and that opportunity, just like the general population.
That's amazing. Your sister, who's nonverbal, touched you in a way like that it actually made your life career go in that direction. I think it's so very cool.
Thank you.
And so let me just ask you, I know that you have good faith in the Lord and everything like that, but if you can tell me what it is that you see the Lord is doing in your life to make it something like a wow. How is he showing himself in your life?
Oh man.
That's a horrible question to ask.
God is showing himself through my clients, most definitely. I'll say yesterday, the young man that I spoke with you about, out of nowhere, this kid looked at me and he said, Miss J, I can't wait to celebrate when you open your barbershop. I'm ready for you to open your barbershop.
Really?
So there are moments like that where it's out of the blue where my clients will speak to me and I'm like, oh, that is nothing but God. Thanks for the confirmation.
100%.
I kid you not. God is all. There's times where I will pray.
I love that.
And this is why communication is so important with God and your gift, but it also shows me that God has a sense of humor. One day I was sitting in the car and I pulled up to my client's house, little kid, and I prayed. I said, God, I'm tired. Let this haircut go by fast. Let him say that he's, JacQuil. Come on, I'm done.
Just get it done.
I knock on the door. This kid opens the door. He goes, Miss J, yeah, can this be a quick haircut? He said, I've had a long day. I'm pretty tired. I laughed.
That is
so
hilarious.
hard. I couldn't just tell his mom I was in the car praying that his haircut go by fast. But
you probably wanted to say, I was just sitting in the car because I know how this could go. But
it just goes to show that God has an incredible sense of humor and he's amazing and this is his gift and his business. And it's for his people.
Well, and that's pretty amazing that you see that in even just your profession, that you see that he's not just working in your life and saying, please have a relationship with me. Because he knows he has a relationship with you, he's moving forward in your life and showing you exactly what he can do and manifest himself in so many great ways.
Greatly, yes. And he's definitely shown that for the greatest part of this year for me through Focus Church. Because it is so great.
So how long have you been going to this church? Because I know you had gone to a different church and then you started coming here.
Yeah, I was at the Focus Church. We've been here since July of this year, 2023. Beforehand, I was at another church and I was there for probably about 6 or 7 years. And then I needed to take a break because I also, when people have their church hurt and so forth, and some people do, but I had the church hurt, but I didn't want to hold on to it. So I needed to heal in between, and I also needed to know what I stood on and believed God to be for, what he believed his church to be structured and how it should be set up for his people, and for it to be welcoming to everybody. And Focus Church gave me that. So
that's amazing.
I love Focus
Well, and I love the fact that I had an opportunity to meet you, Miss Leathers, from Focus Church. And had an opportunity to see what a gift that you have, that you bring to the table every day. And I want to thank you for being willing to talk with me. We are starting this Bittersweet project because this is like the next step from the book that Miss Kat and I had written. And we just feel like what the Lord wants us to do right now is share people's testimony, because we want to show the good stuff that's out there in the media, on the internet, and not the bad stuff. So, to me, this just shines a light. So I thank you so much for having this opportunity that you gave me today.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Thank you so much.